In the heart of South Africa, nestled between the rolling hills and lush valleys of the Eastern Cape, there lies a people whose spirit runs as deep as the rivers that flow through their land. These are the Xhosa people, a nation forged through struggle, resilience, and a deep connection to their ancestors. Their story is not just a tale of survival, but one of triumph, pride, and an unwavering commitment to their culture and heritage. Long before the colonizers arrived, the Xhosa people lived in harmony with the land. They were farmers, herders, and warriors, with a profound respect for the earth beneath their feet and the sky above. The Xhosa were a people of great wisdom, and their elders carried the stories of their ancestors, stories that were passed down through generations in the form of songs, dances, and rituals. Their villages, scattered across the Eastern Cape, were peaceful yet strong, united by a shared language and tradition. But change was on the horizon, and it was not a gentle one. The arrival of the Dutch and later the British marked the beginning of a new chapter in the Xhosa people's history. The British, with their hunger for land and resources, sought to impose their control over the land of the Xhosa. For the Xhosa people, it was not just a fight for land, but a fight for their very way of life. The first great clash came in the early 1800s, when the Xhosa, under the leadership of their chiefs, resisted the British invasion. The wars that followed, known as the Cape Frontier Wars, would stretch across decades, with both sides experiencing victories and defeats. The Xhosa fought fiercely, not only with weapons, but with the strength of their culture, their belief in their right to live freely on their land. One of the most notable leaders during these turbulent times was Chief Ndlambi, a figure whose name still resonates in the hearts of the Xhosa people. Chief Ndlambi, with his wisdom and strategic mind, led his people through the battles, often using guerrilla tactics to outsmart the British forces. His ability to unite the Xhosa clans, to make them stand together against a common enemy, became a symbol of resilience. Despite the Xhosa's eventual defeat, Chief Ndlambi's leadership remains a source of inspiration for the nation. But the Xhosa people's struggle was far from over. The arrival of British colonialism brought even more hardships, as they were forced to adapt to a changing world. In the mid-1800s, when the British introduced the concept of air land reserves, the Xhosa people were displaced from their ancestral land. They faced not only the loss of their land but the forced imposition of new customs and ways of life that threatened to erase their culture. It was during this time that the Xhosa people's greatest tragedy and most powerful symbol of resistance unfolded, the story of the cattle-killing prophecy. In 1856, a young Xhosa girl named Nonkowaus claimed that the ancestors had told her that if the Xhosa people killed all their cattle and destroyed their crops, the ancestors would rise and drive the British away. Many believed in this prophecy and, in a desperate attempt to reclaim their land and freedom, they followed it, slaughtering their cattle and destroying their food sources. The results were devastating. The Xhosa people, who had once relied on their cattle for both food and wealth, were left without resources. Hunger and disease spread, and many Xhosa died. The British, seeing the devastation, capitalized on the crisis, but the tragedy also showed the depth of the Xhosa people's belief in their connection to their ancestors and their resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. But the Xhosa spirit would not be broken. From the ashes of that catastrophe, new leaders emerged, and the struggle for freedom continued. The Xhosa people, though beaten down, never gave up. They fought in the Anglo-Zulu War, resisted the apartheid regime, and eventually, through decades of resistance, were part of the greater movement that led to the birth of a free South Africa. The Xhosa language, rich with clicks and melodies, is still spoken by millions of people today. It is a language that carries the weight of history, from the earliest days of the kingdom to the struggles of the 20th century. It is a language of identity, a reminder of the strength that lies within every word. The Xhosa people's heritage is alive today, from the breathtaking beauty of the Eastern Cape to the bustling streets of Cape Town. The Xhosa continue to honor their traditions through initiation ceremonies, traditional dances like the amtio, and through the rhythmic sounds of drums and song. The scars of the past have not been forgotten, but they are woven into the fabric of the Xhosa identity, giving strength to each new generation. In the face of adversity, the Xhosa people have always found a way to rise. They carry within them the courage of their ancestors, the wisdom of their elders, and the resilience of those who fought and bled for their freedom. Their story is one of pride, one that echoes through the mountains and valleys, through the songs of their people and the words of their leaders. So, as you walk through the hills of the Eastern Cape or listen to the hum of a Xhosa song, remember this: the Xhosa people have always been, and always will be, a people of strength, of spirit, and of an unbreakable connection to the land that they call home. Their history is written not just in books, but in every step they take, every word